One of the deepest values of the Jewish faith is to bury one's dead. That's even more poignant for this mother who lost her son in the 2014 Gaza war Israel fought against Hamas. And still, she cannot say her final goodbye.
Hadar means glory in Hebrew, and Hadar Goldin was indeed his parents' pride and joy. Losing him was difficult enough, but not being able to give him a proper burial is almost too much to bear. It's why the family came here to the United States with the help of the Israeli embassy to try and make some headway.
It's heartbreaking.
The pain in this Israeli mother's eyes is evident as she talks about her son, Hadar Goldin. She says he was always smiling.
Smiling from the inside. His most characteristic thing was to see the good things in everything. In Hebrew we say you have bad eye, ayn ra, and you have good eye. He had the good eye.
Hadar joined the Israeli army, and in August of 2014, he was in Gaza as part of Operation Protective Edge. Hamas had launched missiles into Israel. His mother says 2 hours into a ceasefire, he was ambushed by Hamas.
Hamas took advantage of knowing Israel soldiers' protocol not to shoot during ceasefire. They ambushed his team, killed 3 of them, and kidnapped Hadar into the underground tunnel where they still keep him, his body, his remains, as a bargaining chip to release sentenced terrorists.
The family has been trying unsuccessfully ever since to retrieve their son's remains and give him a proper burial, a cornerstone of the Jewish faith. The response from officials had always been the same.
These are terrorists, Hamas terrorists. What can you do? We don't have any contact to those terrorists. War is war with all the consequences, but capturing the dead, refusing to let me bury him, is the lowest thing to do.
The family has new hope thanks to a newly passed UN Security Council resolution. It says in part that when a ceasefire is initiated and a peace agreement reached, the return of hostages and the deceased must be a top priority.
So for us, this is now the windows of opportunity to bring our son home, since the United States highly involved in initiating the peace plan in our region. This resolution actually moves the responsibility to the UN state members by saying when you initiate agreements, it's your responsibility now to factor in the return of Hadar.
The Goldins came to the U.S. to try and build support for their case by meeting with White House officials and the UN Secretary General, who she said was optimistic. His office released a statement saying in part, the Secretary General had a private meeting with the parents of Hadar Goldin. He continues to call on all parties to abide by international humanitarian law and duly inform the families of missing Israelis and Palestinians regarding the status of their loved ones. This mother feels a step closer to closure for her son, who was 23 years old and a month away from his wedding when he was killed.
For us, it's to put a closure. It's to put a closure to the family and specifically to his twin brother and his fiancée. And we believe that your current administration can fix this wrong. Not just pray for it, not just think about us, but make it happen.
Mrs. Goldin says when she spoke with the UN Secretary General, he said Hadar's remains should be returned, quote, immediately and unconditionally. She's hoping that happens in the very near future.
Alpha, Omega.